Greetings, fellow songwriters and seekers, and welcome back to Muse Measure. If you haven't done so yet, take a moment, hit the guy on the Lotus pedal down below. Benefit from these great questions about songwriting, lyrics, and the spiritual connection between songwriting and meditative practice. So I have a question here from Lena in San Diego, California. Beautiful there. I haven't been there since I was a kid. I wonder how it is these days. When I write honestly about my life, I sometimes worry about the people who might recognize themselves in the song. How do you write truthfully without feeling like you're exposing other people's stories? Very, very good. And this is a problem for not only musicians and songwriters, but any type of author who's writing, using material from their own life. Even if they're fiction writers, a lot of times people recognize themselves in the stories or the songs. And I'd say the most basic trick. Most people who are intimate with you and know you, especially if they're exes, that's the big thing, is like people who are no longer in your life. When you write about them, then they hear your song, then they're sending you nasty emails saying, how dare you expose me? That was a very vulnerable moment. How dare you use that in one of your songs? So I don't know how you can really avoid that because, people can read through the lines pretty clearly, even if you're being very abstract or very vague. But I think one of the tricks you can use is to change the names of the people. Definitely don't, use the name of the person you're writing about, especially if it's an ex. Change it to somebody else's name. But also just tweak the details, So say the song is about your ex-girlfriend and how she overcame her addiction to huffing paint. Sorry, that's a pretty dark song subject, but I don't know, maybe someone can write a song like that. Maybe I should write a song like that. Anyway, so don't make her addicted to huffing paint. Make her addicted to, well, if you want it to be comical, it could be something addicted to like eating the cream out of Oreo cookies, or addicted to sniffing the powder from Kraft mac and cheese. Or you can be, if you don't want it to be less silly, you can have her be addicted to some other hard drug and how she overcame it. So you want to, use that as the inspiration, but don't use the actual raw details from that person's life, because then you are treading on somebody's privacy and you're going to make them upset. Now, ultimately, I don't know what attitude you have towards your art, but my attitude is like, it's not this harsh, but it doesn't matter that much whose toes you step on if you make great art. And I think people should be honored if their story or facts from their life end up in your music. And if there's somebody who's really takes offense to it, either that you've totally exposed them and they're really embarrassed by it, or they're just kind of like, they don't appreciate what you do. They don't appreciate your art. And so it's probably good they're not in your life anymore. They are an ex because they didn't show appreciation for your art, and that's probably why they didn't value you fully for who you are. Because as a songwriter, as an author, as an artist, that's such a key part and at the core of who you are, that whoever this person is who maybe would take offense to it later, whether it's a friend or an ex-lover, they didn't value that in you. So that's probably why you're not together. So I don't know, it's always best to write about yourself and your own flaws, but when people have these great stories, you want to use them, right? And that's what a lot of authors do. They hang around in bars and listen to people tell their sob stories. So you can use all this as great info and great input into your writing. So I would say change some of the details around so it's not explicitly about a person. And if it is, then you just have to just grin and bear and say, I'm going to accept the consequences, because the actual details of their story are so juicy and so interesting and so poignant that it's worth taking the risk that they might be upset that I used their details in my song. So I don't know. I would tread lightly. If you can change the details, do that. If you can't, then just accept it. Or maybe even, reach out to them ahead of time and say, I wrote this song. I wanted to run it by you, and just ask their permission to say, is this okay if I change the name on it? It may be that they don't want to be vulnerable to other friends or other family members learning about what happened to them. and that's why they're so sensitive of it. You're going to somehow expose them and out them to the world. So in that case, you should be respectful and sensitive about it. And then in that case, change the details, change the name, and you can even let them know, this song was inspired by you, but I have changed these things, and just let them know. And I think it's usually when people are not informed about something like this, you've used the details of their life and you didn't tell them about it, and then they hear it through a third person, or they hear your music and all of a sudden they recognize themselves in it. That's the problem. So I think if you open the lines of communication and you're just honest about it, then it'll probably be okay. And if not, change the details, change the name, and then just deal with the consequences. So, well, thank you so much for your question. If I didn't address it completely, if you have follow-up questions, please put them down in the comments section. And if anyone else has had this situation, I'd love to hear what you did in this situation. So please put it down in the comments. If you don't want to expose yourself on my YouTube channel, you can send me a private message at tyler@musemeasure.com. All right. Best of luck with your songwriting, using other people's life stories in it, and your spiritual practice, which gets into the morality of all this. All right. Take care.